Have you ever found yourself at a crossroads? Maybe thinking about a career change, or just realizing, wow, I need new skills for this fast-changing world.
It's a pretty common feeling, I think.
Definitely. And when we think about practical ways to build a career, sometimes we overlook a really powerful option, vocational education and training,
Yeah.
VET.
Right. It's very hands-on, usually really plugged into what industries need. But yeah, let's be honest, it sometimes struggles with its image. A bit outdated, maybe.
That outdated perception, yeah. And that's exactly what VET systems across Europe are really working hard to change right now.
hmm So, our deep dive today is all about that transformation, how VET isn't just, tweaking old programs. It's trying to reinvent itself, become this crucial engine for the future economy.
Reinvention, I like that word. Because it's not small adjustments we're talking about, is it?
Not at all. It's more of a strategic shift. And it seems to be built around four big interconnected ideas, these pillars:
Okay, what are they?
digitalization, internationalization, inclusion, and the green transition. So it's about VET creating this new identity, agile, relevant, and, yeah, attractive for learners and employers.
And we're basing this discussion on some solid research, right?
We are. It comes from the report D 4.1 Recommendations VET2Sustain. And this isn't just like one group's opinion. It's built on some pretty extensive surveys from the VET2Sustain project. Quantitative and qualitative data.
Extensive how?
Well, they got input from 160 people across 18 European countries.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't just educators. They talked to students, parents, career advisors, policymakers, industry folks, even the media. So you get this really broad picture, a real ground-level view of what's actually happening.
That 360-degree view. So understanding these changes in VET, it's important for pretty much everyone then.
I'd say so. Whether you're in education yourself or maybe watching the job market, thinking about your own skills, or just interested in, building a fairer society, these changes matter.
Right, it makes you think, what could this VET reinvention mean for your career? Or, your town's economy, your whole idea of what good education looks like.
Exactly. Those are the kinds of questions to keep in mind as we explore this.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The report really points to these four key areas driving VET forward, making it more attractive, more relevant. Where should we start? Maybe digitalization? Seems like it touches everything.
Digitalization is definitely front and center. I mean, think about the speed of tech change in every industry. AI, automation, new digital tools everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And it's not just changing the jobs VET prepares people for, it's changing how VET is taught. More digital tools in the classroom for training. And that means teachers constantly need to upskill themselves.
So it's a constant race to keep up.
It really is, like a sprint against obsolescence, you
Yeah.
could say. VET needs to be this agile learning platform, not just a static institution.
That's a great way to put it. So what are institutions actually doing? The report mentions some best practices.
Yeah, some really interesting stuff. Blended learning models, for instance, mixing online and face-to-face, gives students flexibility.
Okay.
And then there's the really high-tech stuff, like using VR and AR simulations, virtual and augmented reality.
So like practicing on virtual machinery.
Exactly. Imagine learning to operate complex equipment in a totally safe virtual factory before you even touch the real thing. Plus, direct partnerships with tech companies to get the latest tools.
That sounds amazing for practical skills. But is it just the fancy stuff? Or are there real challenges in making this work everywhere, especially for, smaller places with fewer resources?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
There are definitely hurdles. Just keeping the curriculum aligned with how fast technology changes in the real world, that's tough.
Like hitting a moving target.
A very fast-moving target. And then there are the digital skills gaps among teachers, often not enough training or support. Someone from Slovenia mentioned rapid digitalization with AI exhausts teachers. They try to share best practices, but it's clearly a struggle.
I can imagine. It's a lot to take on.
And it's not just teachers. Students come in with really different levels of digital know-how, especially adult learners maybe.
Yeah, good point.
Plus, keeping students engaged when learning purely online, that's hard. Motivation can dip. And then the practical side, money. Adopting and maintaining all this tech costs a lot.
As someone from the Netherlands put it, the challenge is keeping up with the new digital developments and staying attractive for youngsters. It's perception, too.
Absolutely. It's capability and image.
Okay, so shifting from the digital world, the report also talks about VET connecting across borders, internationalization. That sounds like a big change, too.
It really is. It highlights how important cross-border links are becoming. exchange programs, partnerships between VET schools and businesses in different countries.
Why is that so critical?
Well, it extends horizons, right? Exposes students to different ways of working, global standards, and develops skills like English proficiency, intercultural understanding, things that are just essential in today's job market.
So this is where VET can really open doors globally. What does that look like in practice?
Things like dual diplomas qualifications recognized in maybe 2 countries, international apprenticeships, so you get work experience abroad, big boost for employability.
Okay.
Using EU programs like Erasmus Plus is obviously huge for student mobility. And, importantly, there's a push to help learners with fewer opportunities get these international experiences too, with extra support.
That's great to hear.
Plus, more multilingual courses, cross-cultural training built in, even international skills competitions, where students showcase their talents.
Sounds fantastic for broadening perspectives, but what are the roadblocks? Is it just logistics?
It's a mix, really. Language barriers are obviously a big one for students and teachers.
Sure.
Then there's the sheer admin hassle. Setting up and managing international partnerships can be complex. And sadly, in some places, VET still has this image problem, this perceived lower status.
Which might make students hesitate to go abroad.
Exactly, even if the programs are great. And then, money again. Financial constraints for students, sometimes not enough Erasmus, plus funding to meet demand. So there's this gap between the potential and the reality for some.
Right. Okay. Third pillar, the green transition. Skills for a sustainable future. This feels unavoidable now.
Totally unavoidable. Sustainability, eco-friendly practices,
yeah.
they're becoming just a core part of VET, not an add-on.
So we're talking green skills, like what
Sure.
specifically?
Things like energy efficiency, waste management, understand the circular economy, designing things to be reused, repaired, recycled.
Right, closing the loop.
Exactly. Minimizing waste, maximizing resources. It's about creating sustainable work environments too, right within the VET institutions themselves.
So how are they doing that? What are the best practices?
Well, literally establishing eco-friendly learning spaces, developing specific training modules for green practices in different industries, like sustainable tourism or green building techniques.
Very practical.
Yeah, and making sustainability part of everyday life for students and staff. Getting companies involved, too, encouraging them to partner with VET to teach real-world green methods. It's about embedding that mindset.
Sounds really integrated. But getting there, it must cost money, require changes. Are there snags?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not always smooth sailing. One issue is just how slowly curricula sometimes adapt to include these new green skills. They're evolving fast.
And the costs you mentioned, building greener infrastructure.
Yes, that can be a major barrier, especially for institutions already stretched thin. Plus, sometimes there's a lack of awareness among teachers, even students, about how important these skills are, the career opportunities.
And what about industry? Are they always ready for these green-skilled graduates?
That's a critical point. If industries are slow to adopt sustainable practices themselves, it creates a mismatch.
Yeah.
Students get trained in these advanced green skills, but then struggle to find jobs where they can actually use them.
So the whole ecosystem needs to shift. Okay, fourth pillar, and maybe the most, human inclusion, equal access and opportunity.
Yes, and this is fundamental. Creating environments in VET that are truly accessible and supportive for everyone.
What does that mean in practice?
It means things like accessible curriculum design, catering to different learning styles, using materials that reflect diverse perspectives, diverse role models, offering strong support services, counseling, mentoring, tutoring that understand different backgrounds.
And I heard you mention something about multi-professional teams.
Right. Building teams within VET colleges that bring different expertise together and focusing on student strengths, not just deficits. Recognizing that everyone has unique talents and deserves to learn effectively.
That strength-based idea feels really important. A shift from one size fits all. What else makes these inclusive environments work?
Strong partnerships with community groups, with employers, especially crucial for helping disadvantaged students find pathways. And of course, training for the educators themselves.
Training in what?
Cultural competence, inclusive teaching methods, how to recognize different learning needs, special needs, and provide the right support. Empowering teachers to be truly responsive.
Makes sense. But again, the challenges. Inclusion is complex.
Hugely complex. You have incredible student diversity, different basic skills, cultural backgrounds, languages. It demands really adaptable teaching. Someone from Iceland mentioned needing suitable resources for our students since the group is very diverse. That really sums it up.
And VET courses aren't always set up for that adaptability.
Often not fully. They might not accommodate diverse learning styles well, or disabilities, or language needs. Course content might lack those diverse perspectives we mentioned, making it harder for some students to connect.
And support services.
Access can be patchy. If
Mm.
students can't get the mentoring or tutoring they need, their chances drop. Plus, those links to employers and community groups. Sometimes they're just weaker for disadvantaged students.
You mentioned a quote from the Netherlands.
Yeah, about the need for flexibility of education for youth and adults. That really captures how crucial adaptability is. And even with good intentions, teachers often lack specific training in inclusive methods, leading to unequal experiences.
Okay. So we've explored these four huge trends: digitalization, internationalization, greening, inclusion. We've seen best practices, but also the real hurdles. Now, the crunch point. What can people actually do? If you're involved in VET or maybe considering it, or you just care about this stuff, what are the takeaways?
Right. The report doesn't just diagnose, it prescribes. It gives specific, actionable recommendations for all the different players involved.
And there are quite a few players, right?
Definitely. Students, teachers, counselors, parents, policymakers, the media, businesses. Everyone has a role in shaping VET's image and how effective it is.
So let's pick out a few key recommendations. What about for teachers?
For teachers, they suggest things like iCoaches, like internal mentors helping colleagues use new digital tools, setting up innovation labs for exploring emerging tech. And as we said, crucial training in inclusive teaching.
And for students, what can help them navigate this?
Things like expanding modular learning, offering stackable micro-credentials.
Micro-credentials, like smaller qualifications.
Exactly. Bite-sized, recognized qualifications you can earn and build up over time, like Lego blocks towards a full qualification. Super flexible. Plus, interactive career planning tools to help them see the pathways.
What about businesses? They're key partners.
Absolutely. They're encouraged to co-develop courses with VET providers, especially in those high-growth green and digital areas. Expand mentoring programs. Offer customized internships that are genuinely welcoming to all learners. Build those real-world bridges.
Makes sense. What about parents? They influence choices hugely.
Yeah, the report suggests things like parent-focused open days, maybe featuring successful VET alumni who've built international careers, and being really clear about salaries, showing the earning potential in green and digital VET jobs. Tackle those old perceptions head-on with facts.
Good idea. And the policymakers, the ones holding the purse strings and setting direction.
Big role for them. Increase funding, especially for modernizing that green and digital infrastructure in VET institutions. And develop national campaigns to boost VET's image. Make it a respected first-choice option, especially highlighting the sustainable and international paths.
And finally, the media. How can they help shift perceptions?
Launch campaigns showcasing VET graduate success stories. Real people, real careers. Engage influencers maybe. Use social media to reshape that public narrative and share positive examples.
Okay, so pulling this all together, the big picture message is what?
It's really about a holistic approach. These four pillars, digital, international, green, inclusive, they aren't separate boxes. They need to be deeply integrated, reinforcing each other.
And collaboration is key.
Absolutely critical. Stronger ties between VET providers and the world of work, flexible, agile training systems, and ongoing support and training for teachers to keep pace with it all.
So by embracing all this change, VET can really empower people.
Empower individuals, definitely. Make the workforce more adaptable to constant change, and contribute to a more sustainable, fair, and globally connected economy overall. It's about future-proofing, really.
Future-proofing generations. That's powerful. So here's the final thought to leave everyone with. How might really investing in and reimagining vocational education now not just prepare people for jobs, but actually reshape our communities, our economies, make them more resilient, more innovative, more equitable for the long haul?
And given everything we've discussed, the challenges and the huge opportunities, what role might you play in championing that vision?